Welcome everybody to Tino's Time Wrestling. And on this episode, we are going to recap an exciting night, what was NXT's New Year's Evil. And NXT never disappoints. And it was an amazing night. We only had 4 matches. There was supposed to be another match, but it's going to be the main event next week on NXT. So we'll get into that once we get to that part of NXT. So let's not waste any time and let's get into all the matches that went down last night at NXT New Year's Evil. The first match on the card, it was Carmelo Hayes versus Roderick Strong to unify the North American and the Cruiserweight title. And I was trying to figure out what they were gonna call the title. Were they gonna use the Cruiserweight? Were they gonna use the North American? What were they gonna Were they gonna combine the names like they did with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship back in 2014? I guess they are just now calling it the North American Championship, and we're getting rid of the Cruiserweight Championship. Okay, it is what it is. But Carmelo and Roderick Strong put on a really good show for the first 9 minutes of NXT, and it was just, I love everything that these two done, and we talked about it on my pre-show, how Roderick Strong is the last guy left of Undisputed Era, and all the other guys are in AEW on Wednesday night, and I really thought that he was going to win this match, but I also talked about it on my pre-show, how I thought Carmelo Hayes could be the next face of NXT, and he says he's the number 1 champion, but he's really like the 1B. So in the end, Carmelo Hayes did a leg drop off the top rope, and it kind of looked like Booker T's move that Booker T used to do back in the day. He did it off the top rope, and he pinned Roderick Strong for the 1, 2, 3. And your new unified North American champion, Carmelo Hayes. And I guess we just got rid of the Cruiserweight Championship, and to be honest, the Cruiserweight Championship hasn't worked out since it re-debuted I think it was like 2016, 2015, so, I mean, it is what it is, and I'm kind of happy it's gone. So, the next thing on NXT, I thought it was going to be AJ Styles versus Grayson Waller, and I swear this was supposed to be a match. But AJ Styles came out and started talking, and he says how great NXT is and how it's the place to be, where all the superstars are here to grow, and how great NXT is, and how it's the future of WWE. And AJ just made a good point, and that's exactly what NXT is. But I guess we aren't going to see this match until next week, because Grayson Waller came out and he said, I want to have my first ever main event match on NXT. So I guess that's what we're getting next week, and that's the main event of NXT. So we didn't get to see it this week at New Year's Evil, but we're going to see it next week. So that's exciting. And that just, NXT, like I said, never disappoints, and it's just awesome to see, and I cannot wait to see this match, and it's just going to be awesome. The next match that we're going to talk about on the card, it was the 6-man tag team match with Imprieum versus MSK and Riddle. MSK and Imprieum have been going back and forth, and MSK went on their little road trip, whatever the heck they wanted to call that, and, we thought it was supposed to be a tag team match. This is another one. It was supposed to be a tag team title match, but it ended up turning into a 6-man tag team match. And this match was another one that delivered, and it was what we thought it was going to be. These 6 men beat the hell out of each other. They put each other through the announce tables. Riddle jumped off the top rope, and he decided to take Walter out, and I didn't think anybody could take Walter out. Walter's like a giant man, and he reminds me of Andre the Giant, to be honest. And I wouldn't be surprised if Walter is going to be this generation's Andre the Giant. But in the end of the match, Riddle decided, let me use my tag team partners move, and he did the RKO to pin Imprieum and win for his team, and MSK and Riddle celebrated it at the end, and MSK announced they will be in the Dusty Cup. If you did not see, the Dusty Cup is returning, and it will be back in a few weeks. We will also talk about what is coming up next week on NXT after we get through the last 2 matches on the card, because like I said, there was only 4, and there was only a 2-hour show. It wasn't a pay-per-view on Peacock or the WWE Network. It was just on the USA Network, and it was just a regular episode of NXT, but they still considered it a pay-per-view. So let's get to the last 2 matches, and the 2 matches we were all looking forward to and wanted to watch the most. The first one we're going to talk about is the triple threat match for the NXT Women's Championship match. It was Mandy Rose versus Jade versus Raquel Gonzalez. And Mandy Rose decided to come in a helicopter, and she had this like wing type attire on, and I don't know what she was trying to be. I guess she was trying to be like a black butterfly or something. I don't know what she was doing, but it was great to see. But this triple threat match and everything that these women do are awesome, and it's awesome to see. And like we talked about it in my pre-show, I'm just so happy that they finally get the opportunity, unlike the women do on Raw and SmackDown. And these 3 women put on a show for 12 minutes. And it wasn't a long match because, like I just said, this was only 2 hours. It wasn't like a long pay-per-view. And, all these matches, for what time they were given, they all were exciting. And they all gave me, and I was on the edge of my seat being like, who was going to win? And I really thought Jade had Mandy Rose a couple times. Even Raquel Gonzalez, she did her power bomb onto Mandy Rose. And I thought she had her. But in the end, after they fought each other for 12 minutes, Mandy Rose rolled up Jade, and she rolled her up for the 1, 2, 3, and she ain't letting go of that NXT championship. And I talked about it on my pre-show, how she had a stranglehold on the NXT's division, and I don't know who is going to beat her. And we're going to find out. Hopefully, we see the next NXT takeover happen around the Royal Rumble. Maybe the week after the Royal Rumble. They used to do it the Saturday before, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen because it usually is announced by now. But congratulations to Mandy Rose for continuing to be the NXT Women's Champion. And it's going to be real interesting to see who she faces at the next takeover. Or I'm sorry, it's just the NXT pay-per-view. We're not calling it takeovers anymore. Whatever, WWE, take it away. Do whatever the hell you want with it. I don't know what. I guess pay-per-view's gone, and yeah. But that's for another episode. Let's talk about the main event. And the main event, it was Tomasa Ciampa versus Braun Breaker for the NXT Championship. Braun Breaker and Tomasa Ciampa have been going back and forth since War Games, all the way back to Halloween Havoc, and they both were 1-on-1. Tomasa Ciampa won at Halloween Havoc, Braun Breaker won at War Games, and they were both 1-on-1. And this was the third meeting, and this was the time we were gonna see that Braun Breaker could dethrone Tomasa Ciampa, and this match actually went over time at the 9 o'clock. Usually, at 9 o'clock, right at 9 o'clock, they end NXT. But this match actually went to like 9:05, 9:07. And I mean, that's probably the first time I've seen that in a minute, because USA Network is a little kind of crazy about all that going over. And, we got to watch Chrisley Knows Best, I guess. But yeah, it was just nice to see that they were able to give this a little bit more time, and they went over. So after these men beat the crap out of each other for 15 minutes and just brutalized each other, they also put each other through another announce table. Tomasa Ciampa got put through Braun Breaker, and it was just great to see. But in the end, and this was the most surprising thing to me, because I was just shocked, because I didn't think it was really going to happen. I talked about it in my pre-show, how I wanted Tomasa Ciampa to win and how I thought he was going to stay NXT champion, but Braun Breaker decided to do the Rusev's move and decided to choke Tomasa Ciampa and tap him out. And Braun Breaker is your new NXT champion. And I cannot even believe it happened. I didn't think Tomasa Ciampa would really tap out, but it happened, and it was what it was. So congratulations to Braun Breaker for being your new NXT champion. And it's going to be real interesting to see what the future holds for NXT 2.0 now that Braun Breaker is in charge. And I really, really hope, people, that we see Tomasa Ciampa in the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble is only 3 weeks away. One of the best pay-per-views of the year. One of my favorite pay-per-views. And it's the beginning to the road to WrestleMania. Before we get to the road to WrestleMania, let's talk about what's happening on next week's NXT 2.0. Now that New Year's Evil is behind us, what is next for NXT 2.0? We had a lot of things announced for next week on NXT 2.0. So let's get into all the matches that were announced, and then we're going to talk about what's coming up here on Tino's Time Wrestling. Elektra Lopez announced that Santos Escobar and Zion Quinn are going to fight for pretty much for the custody of her, I think. I guess whoever wins now, she will be the manager of them. I guess that's what I got from that. I mean, I guess that she's putting herself on the line, or, I mean, are we going to put a briefcase over her? Or, I don't understand how that's working, but I guess Santos Escobar and Quinn are fighting to see who Lopez will manage. So, that will be real interesting. But the next match, Tony D'Angelo versus Pete Dunne on a crowbar on a pole match. I guess they're putting a crowbar on a pole, and these guys are going to fight each other until they can get it, and then they can beat the crap out of each other with the crowbar. So, that works, and we always love stipulation-type matches. Why didn't we see this at New Year's Evil? That would have been real interesting to see that. Watch Pete Dunne beat the crap out of Tony D'Angelo with a crowbar. We're going to see a 6-woman tag team match. We're going to see Casey Capizzaro and Kaden Carter versus Indy Hartwell, her best friend, and Mia Chow, I think her name was. She was in some type of like sleeping attire. She looked like she was sleeping behind the stuff that they put the belts in. I don't know what that they were doing. So we got a 6-woman tag team match, and we always love watching the women fight each other. Now that, you know, NXT 2.0 has some great matches, which I'm sure we're gonna find out what's next for Braun Breaker. Who's he gonna fight at the next NXT takeover? Or I'm sorry, again, I don't know why I keep saying takeover. They got rid of that. The next NXT pay-per-view, but it's gonna be real interesting. And NXT 2.0 is gonna be a great show. So don't miss it. Keep watching it. And NXT gives us the reason why we still like watching WWE, because Raw and SmackDown half the time disappoints us. But it's actually been pretty good, so I'll give them the credit that it's been. It's been a lot better. The product's been a lot better the last month. But what's next? The next pay-per-view is the Royal Rumble. It's the beginning and the road to WrestleMania. One of the best pay-per-views I've been watching it since I was little. This pay-per-view's been around since 1985. The first ever winner was Hacksaw Jim Duggan. We've seen so many great superstars win this, and so many people win their careers and be phenomenal and elevate their careers. And I just love the elimination aspect, and it's just going to be great to see. Johnny Knoxville is going to be in it, apparently. Jackass Forever. It's going to, who knows, he'll probably enter number 1 and win it, and then Vince McMahon thinks that will be some good shit at WrestleMania or something to see Johnny Knoxville versus Brock Lesnar or something. Please, for the love of God, don't have that happen. But the Royal Rumble, 30 women, 30 men. Who's going to survive, and who's going to main event WrestleMania? That's going to be the next time that I join you here on Tino's Time Wrestling. But that same weekend, we're finally going to do my collection episode. I've been talking about it for a while. I talked about how I wanted to show you guys all of the crazy collectibles and all of the wrestling guys and all my pops that you guys see behind me, and all the figures you can kind of see that are hung up on my wall. So I'm going to show you everything I got. I got some more stuff for Christmas. I got stuff in boxes. It's kind of ridiculous, and everybody can make fun of me, but I want to show everybody what I got. And there are so many wrestling collectible people out there, and I just think it would be something cool and different to do here. So until the Royal Rumble weekend, where we talk about my collectibles and we see who survives and who's going to main event WrestleMania, this is your boy Tino signing out.